I was thinking about automations for receipts, and I know there's already automations out there. But I'll have to give it some thought because I know that what I do, even though I have automations at QuickBooks, I know there's already automations built in there, but it's still a very manual process. So
Okay.
I just have to think about it as I'm working away.
Yes. So basically, and as a society member, you can book every week, so you don't have to wait for these calls. What I need you to do is kind of draw your workflows, like what happens after what, because that's the first thing we need to look at before we look at automations, because otherwise, if you can just kind of tell me, it may not be correct, as in what step follows what step.
Yeah. So okay. So it'll be like bookkeepers that also act as administrators, because I also do payroll. So how can I bridge that gap between the accounting and the payroll? Because there's a lot of small businesses out there that can't afford these big accounting like programs that integrate everything. So that's what I was thinking of.
Doesn't QuickBooks integrate payroll?
Only if you're using QuickBooks. But if you're using a different payroll company, you can pay like big dollars to have that integration. So this is what I'm just thinking of, because one of my clients, they just don't have a lot of money. They can barely afford to pay me. So if I can get some automations in place for them.
So how do they pay?
Oh, it's cash, but I can't do what I really need to do for them because I charge a lot of money.
Yeah, no, I mean, do they use anything to do payroll, or how do they pay their people? How do they keep track of who's been paid and all that?
Oh, they pay me to keep track of their people.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, it's a very manual process because they can't afford, there's so few employees, they can't afford the big programs. Let me
Now I
think of it
understand.
as I go on, because I'm coming down to the month end, and that's usually when these things happen. It's month
Okay.
end month, but I'm
Yeah.
really into it. So I'll draw out the workflows of things that I do, and we'll brainstorm and see if there's anything that I can kind
Yes,
of
definitely. And when you're doing these workflows, like at different steps, if you're using something very specific, like I use Google Sheets here, or I use this here, so you can just write on top, and then we'll see what the workflow looks like, and whether or not we can automate the whole thing, or we can automate some of it, or not at all, because sometimes even if we like to have stuff automated, it is not currently possible. It could be in 6 or 12 months, but not currently. So yeah, that will be super, super helpful. And that will allow us to see how much we can automate.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the whole point. Like if you um if you can free up, 2 to 5 hours per week, that's a lot more time for you to work on your other business.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Jeepers. That would be if I could get 5 extra hours a week, that would be amazing
Yeah.
for my nervous system.
Totally. Yeah, no, I completely understand, because yeah. And especially if you're just one person show, yeah, there's nobody to delegate.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I just went through a whole thing today, but I do. Yeah. One of the people I work for, she's very manual and she doesn't want the automation. So I'm like, I can't do anything for her. She refuses. I'm like, all right, well,
But
we'll
if
use
the
Google Drive.
automations are on your side, how would she know?
Yes, I know. Well, that's just it. I can start doing the automations on my side and hand her the stuff manually. So this is what I'm going to be thinking of when I'm doing the month end. and how it's going to work for different types of clients.
Yeah.
How will this work for a solopreneur that wants to do their own books? And how will this work for a bookkeeper? How will this work for a bookkeeper administrator? Like, yeah. Anyway, so the ideas are starting to flow out now.
Yeah, no,
Some of them are
definitely.
saying, no, I don't want to. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so your first job is to actually start drawing these workflows and start with whatever is the most annoying, the most time consuming. So let's start with the hard bits and
That's the
then
highest friction.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, highest friction. Got it. All right, it'll be fun.
Yeah,
See what we can come up with.
absolutely.
So, thank you.
Absolutely, yeah. Hello everybody. We started talking with Karen because she was first here. So we were talking about some automation for her accounting business. And we'll see if we can free up some time for her. Okay, so anybody has any questions? Anybody want to share anything? Anybody has some massive wins since yesterday?
Not a question. If no one else
Mhm.
is saying. I was having a conversation today with someone who works in corporate, and it's so ironic that after I put in about the chief AI officer, and they're predominantly like in the workplace or in organizations, and he was basically saying like opening up a different can of worms, I'll call it, because you know what my brain's like. It's now, oh, what's that like over there? And so he was saying to possibly potentially looking at chatbots for all, just like primarily for organization, just not just but for them to get you in, you're saying like be known for one thing to get into that place, and then once you're known for that one thing, then obviously you're in. Once you're in, and hopefully you do a really good. And if anybody's wondering what's this in my hair, I have to have clips in my hair when I twist it, so I forgot they were in there. I just saw them. Sorry. See how distracted I could get by myself. Yeah. So he was saying to potentially do that, just seeing what other people's what thoughts are. I think I can't remember who I was having a conversation with, or not conversation, but they were mentioning about chatbots the other day in the group. I have to check.
There's a few people that are looking at chatbots.
Yeah, just seeing anybody, like just getting some feedback, and then that was one. And then I've decided that I'm going to do a workshop / webinar to educate people on AI automations and what it is, and well, these people will be entrepreneurs and how it could potentially support them as entrepreneurs. I feel like a lot of people, when you say AI, they just go straight to chat GPT and that's it, and it doesn't sound like me, and it's not authentic, and all the rest of the other BS that they want to talk about, that it's normally the people that don't know how to use it. I asked it a question. How did you ask the question? Did you give it a role? And there's certain ways. And so just educating, because I feel sometimes where I am right now, I feel like people know these things, but they actually don't. And so having just a introduction to what I can do. So like the content multiplier and so on and so forth, just a few things, and showing them how that would work and how it would work for their business. So that's just I just share that verbally. I put it in the group. But
Yeah, I wonder if you can put some clever title because as you said, people, the first thing is ChatGPT and then it doesn't sound like me, which basically implies people are only using it for copy. That's it. But, AI can do so much. So I wonder, maybe you can use the mullet headline writer
I was just thinking
and
that, actually,
see if you can come up with some clever title that is something along the lines that AI is not just for copying, just sounding like you, you can do all this other stuff, because this is the education that needs to be done. The problem is that ChatGPT was the first thing that came out. And when everybody went to ChatGPT, the only thing they were doing is copy. And that's what's stuck in people's heads. Copy sounding like me. They don't see the bigger picture. They don't see how they can do lead generation, or how they can do, the repurposing of content, or how they can manage the inbound inquiries. All these things, people just don't see it. They don't see how, they can create full-on tools or full-on systems and all that. So this is our biggest challenge as people who offer anything AI, like anything.
Exactly. So that's what I thought. I'd do that by the end of the month. Like, I'm in a couple of groups that I'll put it in and just keep it. I feel like, because I am an educator, that's how I feel I will. That's my lead magnet to people. Instead of, I'll post obviously, but and I don't necessarily. Well, I want to have a YouTube channel, but I don't necessarily want it to be about oh, this is how you create. I don't want to be a guru in make or anything like that. I want to actually do a YouTube channel about my journey, like how am I starting these businesses? How am I starting this service? Because I found that a lot of time the people that are actually in it now, like I was listening, I think it was like Liam Otley, and he's been doing it for like 18 months or something like that. But then you've got the whole 18 months. What did you do in that 18 months to get you to where you are today? And that's the bit that I personally, I wouldn't say struggle with, but would have liked to have seen the journey and understand it a bit more, and especially as a woman as well, a woman of a certain age and a Black woman. And do you know what I mean? There's so many like facets to being different on there and doing something different. I feel like, and then also with YouTube, obviously people will come back to it maybe in a couple of years when they're starting their AI service and they can see how it was back then, back in our day, so to speak. So I feel like that's
I think that all of us here, because we're the same gender, we are very disadvantaged because it's extremely male dominated, the whole industry. And even if you're better than a guy, they'll watch the guy, they'll buy his stuff and all that. Also, we're all over 30. Like every single one of us is over 30. So here's another disadvantage. Female over 30. And yeah, so our disadvantages are starting to stack up a little bit. So you have to be better, smarter, faster, all these things. And Andrea, you probably understand the best of all of us, what it means to, try to be on the top. And because you also have the racial thing on top.
I've got the
of that.
racial thing, but I was thought you was going with the bodybuilding, because when you said like gender, age,
Oh, bodybuilding, absolutely. Yeah.
bodybuilding, even in that sport, like men get paid thousands of pounds more than women do, and it's not as if we do less.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I stopped doing it as well, because it's just like, why am I like utilizing all this energy the same? Like, it's not obviously the same, but we were both in the gym at the same time and doing similar things, and you're getting paid like how much times more than, and it's not even just in bodybuilding, it's any sport, well, majority of sports when it comes to gender biases. And so it's just like gender differences. It's just so, and I read a report today, like there's not a lot of women are taking up AI, but they don't understand how it would actually help them. Where I'm so busy doing this, and well, then this is why you need it. So and then adding on the race issue, and that's why I am setting up the group for the young Black women to bring them up into AI. I actually had my what did I have this morning? A PR call. So we've got put the campaign plan together as well. So that's ticking along on the side. So
Yeah. I have a question about your workshop. How are you going to get people into it?
So I'm part of a few groups, and so I'm just going to be plugging it in there. There's one group that I'm actually part of, and you have clubs in there. And
Okay.
I've got my own club inside the bigger. So there's a big group of like thousands of women, and then I have a club which I think has just over or just under 100 people in there. And so I can obviously post it in there, and then each Monday, an email shot goes out and tells people what's going on throughout the week. So if I was to plan to do it not next week but the week after, then I'll have that group, my own club. Then it gets sent out twice in the 2 Mondays, and then there's some other groups that I'm part of that you can, if you're hosting anything free, you can put it in there. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, so make sure that you have some really solid offer when you do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's the bit that I've got to work on, because that's the bit I can do the presentation and do the workshop really, really well. And it gets to that point. It's like, okay. But yeah, no, I'm gonna work it. I feel like I know I'm just gonna just do the content multiplier and possibly a chatbot. So have two
Okay.
options and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, don't give them like a whole list of options and make it a
No,
special. Give it a
yeah, yeah,
deadline
definitely.
and see how that goes. And make sure that you also have like a post workshop emails, like maybe
Yeah,
7-day emails, like sequence that will go and will push towards these offers.
yeah,
I don't know if you want to do like a VIP so they can keep the replay.
potentially. But could do.
You can go, as cheap as like $7 if
Yeah,
you want to keep the replay.
yeah. But then I'm just trying to think, even though it'd be more informative rather than them actually. I suppose if they want to keep it to understand, we could do it. I'm trying to think what. Obviously, I want to give value, not just talk about it, but I want them to actually. I'm just gonna try and see what I can put together, like that they can have takeaways as well. So if
Yeah.
they want to try something.
Yeah, basically if they don't know anything or much about AI, is about showing possibilities because
Yeah,
people cannot picture these things in their heads. So
no,
you can actually have a few different demos, even though you're gonna sell only two things, you can have different demos that do different things just to show them, different areas. Here's for something for admin, here's something for content, here's something for this. Here's how the chatbot will work, all
yeah.
kinds of different things.
And it,
Asita is
it,
asking how much you're going to charge for the
now
workshop.
the workshop is that's my lead magnet. So it's going to be a free workshop.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a free workshop, and then obviously notify them that this is going to at the beginning, that I'm going to be selling something at the end. But yeah, potentially it's going to be a free workshop. Um, and there's someone that I've seen that's actually, like, chatbots are quite relatively easy now, easier to make. So I know maybe sooner down the line that could be something else that I'd like to do, like show entrepreneurs how to create their own, because it's,
Yeah, they're
I've heard
still
of.
dumb.
Pardon?
They're still dumb. Like they don't think for themselves. They're still like,
No, but the ones I'm talking, like, even the things that I was thinking about was like, I'm going to be talk to my head teacher next week about chatbots in terms of even for departments. So like each department have their own chatbot, but they use the knowledge. All the knowledge base will come from their own documents. Because I know that in a lot of, especially in schools, if you've got new teachers or someone's looking for a particular thing in documents, it's hard to search for it. But if you could just go in the chatbot and then get the information that you need,
yeah.
yeah. So you can make them clever, I believe, anyway. From what I've seen, if you got more knowledge, if you can upload the knowledge, then you can make them as clever as you want them to be.
Yes, but you can't make them with a lot of the softwares that claim that they're making like really good chatbots because they're just a little bit more sophisticated ManyChats. A lot of them.
I can't comment. I haven't used a lot of them, so I don't know. I can only go
Yeah.
by what I've used.
Yeah, I feel that we need to push towards how do these chatbots make connections and decisions more than, if you ask this, then you answer that, which is not possible right now. But
The way I'm seeing it, I'm looking at it as like, especially for schools, not an internal. I can't remember the word I was going to look for now, but like just and for something for them internally,
yeah,
because
no,
there's
that's
so much.
fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
As long as you understand the limitations of
Mm.
chatbots.
But then also right now, what do people need? Like they don't really need that much, to be fair, especially entrepreneurs. Like there's only so much that we need it to do. Everybody else, please chime in because I'm happy to hear.
Yeah, well, I've got here a few questions. Oh yeah, you answered the charging.
Yeah.
Karen also said that she was a competitive
Oh,
power lifter when she was in her early 50s.
wow,
Crazy.
amazing.
And yeah, elbow you away. But
Yeah.
Pasita is asking, what would you offer in the free workshop? I'm trying to figure out the moving pieces for my upcoming workshops.
So that what I would show them will be like showcasing some of the blueprints that we've already used in the group and how it would relate to like what Monica said, whether it be admin, whether it be customer service, and then chatbots, and then at the end it will be this. My offer will be the content multiplier where they have a long form piece of content, whether it be a YouTube channel, YouTube URL, podcast, or a blog, and then we can take that and then multiply it into different content. Um, yeah, and then also because I'm a business strategist as well, that can lead on nicely to that, so they can do that, and then they may have other questions about their business that I could then support them with. So there's different ways that I could upsell them from that. So that's why once I get that top of funnel that Monica talks about and get them into that top of funnel, and once they're in, there's different ways that I can work with them.
Yeah, something that I've noticed works really well when you do webinars or workshops is instead of having slides to have, and I'm gonna say it again, to have demos, things that show people how stuff works. Because
Yeah.
slides, they don't really spark the imagination. And
Mhm.
like when you see it, what happens, it's kind of like something clicks in your brain when you see
Mhm.
it. When you just read it on a slide, even if it's like nice drawings and all that, it doesn't really click in your brain because AI is so new.
Yeah, you can't visualize what it's actually trying to do, but when you show them, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. So and already like even for like just showing them the results of what it comes into the Airtable, so they can see make. You don't have to go into any great detail about the modules. You just show them, right, from this is what this does, and this is how, and this is the end result. And by showing, I feel like and this might be a little bit sneaky, by showing them the make, that's like, oh my gosh, like, because there's a lot of people that are not into tech, they're just gonna be like, wow, okay, that's why we need you. Because sometimes they may see, if you show them just the Airtable, they might, I can do that. Like that's pits easy. But then if you show them the make and show them like the steps we have to do and tech, like you don't, obviously you're not going to go into detail, but just seeing a make scenario sometimes can be a bit like, okay, what are we doing here then? And then just clicking on one and showing them how, like, it's not just a symbol, it goes in deeper. And I think just giving people that knowledge that it's not just about Chat GPT, it's not just about putting in a sentence and getting something out at the end. It's not that, it's a lot more.
Yeah, what I think will make your life easier, because if you start clicking into modules to show them stuff, that will overwhelm them. That becomes tech. And it's like, and a lot of people is like, yep, I'm done. So what you can do is just pre-record your demo. So just record your screen as it's going.
Mhm.
So I can just show them, do you see the bubbles, how it's going through, and da 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 da. And then, show them what happens in the beginning, then record your screen, and then show them what happens in the end. Don't go into, unless you're somebody that is going to do something like me, teach people how to create these things. Don't go into the modules. That will totally overwhelm them. So if you want to sell them your solutions, just show them the top shelf of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, Pasita is asking if a free workshop is better than a 3-day challenge. I don't know. Sometimes is, sometimes isn't, but usually how I've seen it, like workshops can go over a few different things, but they don't really go into making something. As in, with challenge, you're going to tell them in 3 days, you're going to come out with a thing, whatever that thing is. So this is the biggest difference. So on the workshop, nobody is doing work. They're just watching the slides, your videos, asking questions and all that. In a challenge, they come out with a result.
Yeah, in the workshop, the most we'll probably get them to do is like list some of the things that they feel like that could be done or can be automated, just to get them to think about it.
Yeah.
But if I would do a challenge, I would like say 3-day, like first day, design what you want to do or talk about it. And then the second day, you start talking about what it is you're doing. And then the third day will be the final.
Yeah. Even if your workshop is like a few hours, it doesn't allow people the free time to go and do things on their own, as in challenge. So it really depends what works better for you. For some people, both work. For some people, one of them works. With AI, it has to be something very simple if you're doing a 3-day challenge. Like design the copy for your webpage, design a simple chatbot, build a simple GPT, like whatever that GPT is. You can even have a theme. So, yeah, these are the differences.
And what
again,
I probably
it's entirely up to you.
Sorry. What I probably do as well, like on sign up, ask them what kind of business they have, so I can try and tailor if that's possible, if I'll have enough time, and talk about like certain, like gear it towards certain businesses.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
Anybody else has any? Pasita, you can unmute and actually ask the questions, not write them in the chat.
Well, I didn't want to talk over anybody. Now, I have a side business.
Hustle?
Called it's a side thing. I have a friend who is a certified financial planner, and she's got all this group that are all certified financial planner. And she was asking me to create a business plan. And I was wondering if there's already one chatbot or an app, AI app that does that, or is it feasible for me to create one so that I could use her as my guinea pig? And if she likes it, she could have her friends who are also financial planner to buy my chat box. What do you think about that plan?
You can create just a GPT to do that. and just tailor it to financial planners to create a business plan. So you're going to give it a specific, I'm guessing there's a specific framework to do a business plan. Like it doesn't matter for what business, to do a business plan, there's a specific framework. So you're going to give it that framework and you're going to tell it to follow this framework. And then whatever other like I don't know anything about financial planners, but number one, you have to go and talk to her and go, so, what are the things you do? How do you do business and all that? And then just create the instructions. It's fairly easy.
I don't need to create a custom GPT for that.
Yes, you do. Yeah. So yeah, not a chatbot, a custom GPT.
It's not just prompting, but it has.
Well, it is not prompting as in you're going to give it all the instructions so people don't have to go into the normal chat GPT and prompt it. So all the prompting goes like the custom instructions, this is your big prompt. So basically you have to give it a role, you have to give it like the responsibility or goal. So the role will be you are a business, I don't know if they call them business strategist or business development manager, specializing in creating business plans for financial advisors. And then the responsibility would be, you create very specific business plans tailored to financial advisors. Then you're going to have the context, and the context will be that business plans for financial advisors, and you can give it a little bit of a blurb what they are. Then you can give it the framework of a business plan. So as I said, I don't know, I've never done a business plan in my life, so I don't know how, but I'm pretty sure if you go online there will be specific frameworks for business plans. So you're going to give it that, and then you're going to give it the instructions. And the instructions will be, if there's any questions that the GPT needs to ask, like, are there different types of financial planning companies? Like, do they specialize in financial planning for retirement? Do they specialize in financial planning for investment? So there might be different ones. So it will probably ask these questions, and then based on these questions, it will spit out a financial plan. Then it will ask the user if they're happy or if they want any changes. Then the user will answer, and it will be a little bit of a banter in between. And yeah, and Pasita, you can always book time with me. Don't forget that. Like everyone right now here is from the society. Each and every one of you can book a call with me every single week. Like just a one-on-one so we can sit and work on your stuff.
You're missing the trick, ladies.
Yeah, Andrea is the only one that is taking advantage of everything.
Oh, and I can tell
That's
you,
why.
Pardon?
Yeah, I'm talking to- Sorry, that's the reason why I turn my my speaker off, because sometimes I talk over people. That's okay. I was just teasing Monica, and I said, "You were out for a week, having a good time. Here we are slaving away on our projects."
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, definitely. So book some time for one-on-one so we can work on that GPT. And then we can use your friend as a guinea pig. Hi, Jennifer. Okay, so any other questions? Anything else to share? Jennifer, you just came. We've been talking, like everybody's had a go except Joa. And yeah, do you have any questions? Do you have anything to share?
Glad I didn't miss it. I'll think of something in a minute. It'll come to me.
Okay. Okay. Joa, how are you going there?
Um, I'm good. I'm actually working, so I'm listening to
I
y'all while I
saw
work.
that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that.
I am going to book my first one-on-one with you for next week. So
Excellent.
yeah, so work has been keeping me so busy. And I have to do things at my daughter's school this evening, so I'm going to get it on the calendar before I block off my work calendar. Anyway, yeah. So
All
I'm
right.
just here to learn and absorb
Okay. All right.
and listen while I work.
Yep. All right. Okay, anybody else want to share, want to ask? We still have about 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, so I was working on the YouTube thing and I talked to my customer and she sorry, she wants the so I made that I expanded your awesome repurpose YouTube thing to include take the transcript and also generate an alternative title, description, and tags. And she's asked for those first, if she could have those and not have to write them. So I was wondering what the best way is for that. She's thinking maybe upload her YouTube video unlisted, sending me the link so I can get the transcript. Like it seems like that process, I want her to do as minimal as possible. And so I can use a GPT to write it for her and send it to her, but like in a timely manner so that she can
Mhm.
still stick to her schedule that she has. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's cool. So, do you know how far in advance before she puts them on YouTube she creates the videos? Like, do you have a day or do you have a week in between?
She publishes on Wednesdays. I think I have a day. I want to say I have a day.
So she records on Tuesday and she publishes on Wednesday.
She uploads on Tuesdays.
Yeah, but
So,
when does she
and then
create?
publishes. That I don't know,
Yeah, so if you
but
find
it's
that
every
out,
day.
you may find that you have a whole week and you don't have to be rushed because you don't need the polished version of the video. You need the
Right,
audio.
right. Good point.
Yes. You only need the audio. You need to strip the audio and get the transcript to
Mm-hmm,
create a title and tags and descriptions.
mm-hmm. You're right.
Oh, Andrea is going. I was wondering what is she doing? Going
Oh.
on. I don't want to. Okay, no, not a problem, Andrea. I'll chat to you later.
And if she were to like say upload the video to YouTube and maybe send it to me at the same time, like what's a good way to do that if it's like a half-hour podcast? Like
Um,
like would we need a special Dropbox or
Yeah.
hey, Pasita, you. Um,
Sorry
does
about
she?
that. I thought I
That's
turned it
okay.
off.
No, that's okay. Does she upload them somewhere for herself? Like all my YouTube videos are uploaded into Google Drive, for example,
oh
and they
really?
live there.
Okay, I can find out.
Yeah, forever they live there. Because if I ever need to do something with them, I just grab them from there. Because you never know. Sometimes, you can lose them on YouTube and all that. So, and if she doesn't, she probably should.
Yeah, I noticed with all my YouTube work, I'm running out of space, so I just bought an external hard drive.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I just had to buy one because my computer's getting full.
Yes. So what do you do? Like, what do you do with all the videos that you work with? Do you leave them on your computer?
Right now they are, yeah,
That's why you need an extra hard drive.
yeah.
So
But I mean,
if
do
you
you
have,
pay for Google Drive? I mean, my Google
uh,
Drive is almost full. My main one, my main
I do
Google.
pay. I do pay. I have about 130 gigabytes at the moment that I can fill with stuff, but I do pay for it. But then you can look at Dropbox, you can look at OneDrive and see what works for you
Yeah,
specifically. Because if they just stored somewhere, you don't need
yeah,
them on your computer
right. Okay.
because you can always download them. So have a look at that.
Okay.
But I'm also going to have a look at if we can create some automation where we can use the transcripts to come up with titles, maybe a description. I don't know about the tags, because every time I've asked AI to create tags or hashtags for me, they're always like super dumb.
Yeah, I
And
noticed that.
maybe, yeah, and I'm wondering whether or not we can use the new Canva module to actually create a thumbnail,
Mm,
because that would be cool as well. Yeah.
interesting. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll ask.
because then you can have, you don't have to put everything into one automation. You can have, a couple of different automations working at the same time.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Very cool. I love all this stuff.
Yeah. No, I'm actually super impressed because you came in with nothing. Like you're like, AI what?
Yeah.
And then, 3 weeks later, you're like, I have 2 likes on my LinkedIn and one, one lead that became a sale. And now it's, I have a customer that I work with, which is
I don't-
great. Something that you should be doing is document stuff that you're doing, because then it becomes a case study for you.
Okay.
And then you
Okay.
can put it, can start putting stuff on LinkedIn and go, this is what we're doing, this is how we evolved. We started with just repurposing, now we're doing all these other things. So then it becomes a full package for you that you can sell for more money. And
Cool.
because you're already doing it for someone and you're showing publicly as a case study or journey, how things are evolving, people will be like, oh, she knows what she's talking about.
I actually recorded a demo of the make script scenario, but it was on Loom and it was my first time and you had to pay to download it and I got mad and I just closed it. So I'm gonna see if I can record it. Like I have OBS Studio, so I was trying to figure out how to like just record a video without having to pay to download it.
Yeah, OBS is great because you can share your screen and all that.
Yeah.
Loom is basically for sharing files. Like the cameras and everything, you don't have a lot of a lot of things that you can edit in Loom. So a lot of the times, it's bad lighting, bad camera, and all that. If you want it to be a little bit more polished, OBS is great. There's like a million videos on YouTube how to use OBS.
Mm,
Like
yeah.
a million videos.
Yeah.
And you don't have to pay a penny.
So that's next on my list is to actually create a demo
Yeah,
video. Yeah.
absolutely. And if anyone even remotely is interested, send them to that demo.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I want it on YouTube. I was thinking with Loom, I could just link the Loom. I'm like, no, I want it on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, but also keep it, because if somebody goes on social media and asks you a question, they might be interested. Just go, hey, I have a demo. Would you like me to show it to you? And then you can follow up going, hey, is it worth to have a 15-minute chat about it?
Mm. Okay, yeah,
So you
good.
can ask me any additional questions and I can show you some other super cool stuff.
Good.
because
Cool.
that starts the conversation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
You
Everything's exciting.
you also mentioned that your work saw stuff on LinkedIn and they were a little bit concerned. What happened there?
So I think so I posted that I started a new job at YouTube Repurpose Pro, and I was offering the service, and my coworkers saw it and sent a screenshot to my boss at my job, which has nothing to do with any, that's totally unrelated. And my boss texts me the morning and he says, Jen, did you leave? Are you quitting? Did you start a new job? And I said, oh my God, no. I said, I'm just blah, blah, blah. And so he actually scheduled a call with me because he had to write a report to whoever it was on the end of the email to say that this is not a conflict and that my time will totally be separate and I won't be spending work time, of course, on this project. And he was like, I don't know if we are okay with you having two jobs. We want to make sure that your time is completely separate and there's no conflict. And so he asked what it was. And I said, like, if someone's a YouTube creator and they're making videos on the different colors of frogs, I take that video and with the transcript, what they say, I just write their socials for them with AI, and that's it. And like, so it's so annoying. So I haven't heard back. So I think that everything's okay, but it was just so rude. And my partner got really upset and she was like, that's none of their business. Like, it's totally none of their business. The only problem was LinkedIn put it like Jen started a new job. Even though I have both in my title, like I have both titles in there, like I am da 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 at the college, and also I do da da da. So because of the LinkedIn post, that's what somebody sent my boss a screenshot, which I'm not happy about at all. They didn't even ask me. They didn't even, whatever. So everyone knows, good or bad, but that's the last I heard of it. So I think that whoever is worried the most has been appeased. I need out of this job. I need out of this
Yeah, yeah.
situation.
Well,
Really none of their business.
absolutely it's not. But I always say stay on your job until you make at least 70 to 80% of what you're making now, and then you can
Yep.
think about quitting.
Yep.
Yeah. One of my mentors, she used to work for television. She used to do the ads for news segment or whatever that was. She was making 150,000 a year and she was still going, should I quit my job or not? When she first started. So yeah, don't do what the gurus tell you, quit your job and concentrate um on your passion because you have bills to pay.
Yeah,
And the last thing you want to do is, have anxiety and panic attacks, every time you open your mailbox.
right, right.
Um,
Thanks for that advice.
yeah.
If it happens, I will dive in 150%, but
Yeah.
that would not be ideal.
Yeah,
So,
but here's the other thing, like, because people do lose their jobs for whatever reason, there's always other things you can do. And they may not be, sexy and cool, but you can go and drive Uber, you can go and look after kids, you can go and walk dogs, you can
yeah,
go and clean people's houses. It doesn't matter what it is. If it gives you money to follow your passion, there's nothing wrong with it and nothing shameful.
I did. I felt better. Like I did panic at first, and then I was angry, like who the hell did this? Like who sent it? But anyway, then I went ahead and I looked on what's that job site? The anyway, one of the job sites, and I saw a lot of different opportunities. So then I felt better. Like I felt more calm, like, okay, I could do other things. It would not be the end of the world. There
Yeah.
are other jobs out there, but
Yeah. Also, don't forget that you can create a profile on Fiverr and,
oh yeah, yeah.
sell your YouTube services. You can also go and create a profile on Upwork and actually bid on projects
Mm,
that are. I don't think that a lot of these projects will be about repurposing content because I think people in there want a little bit different stuff, but you can go and try.
mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you for DMing me and talking me off the ledge. I was like, oh my God, that was horrible. So, I mean, I still could hear from like HR or something, but I don't think so since it's been a few weeks. But we'll see.
You
But
don't have anything in your clause, like any clause in your contract that says you cannot have side hustles.
no, and it's none
There
of
you
their
go.
business. Like
There you
it's
go.
I can't like sell my employer services that would
Which you're
compete.
not. So,
Like,
which means that if they go for your throat, they open themselves to litigation.
that's true.
Because as soon as you say lawyer, you'll see how everything goes like super calm. Especially in like America and Canada. Like people sue each other for everything there. In Australia, they go to the parking lot and exchange a few blows and everything is fine. But yeah, if they want to be assholes, you be an asshole in return. So
Yeah.
yeah, don't worry about it. If you've got no clause, then you cannot have another, and it's not even a job. It's like a little side hustle that, helps
Yeah.
you pay the
And
bills. You
you know
can,
what? I was thinking about you saying that you went to your son's party and none of the parents like understood you or nobody could relate to it. That's how it is at my job. You should hear them. I think I told you about the ticketing system. I was like, oh, we can make a ticketing system like this, like with ClickUp, like like with Asana, like with anything like that. And they just looked at me like I had two heads, and I'm like, it's so easy. Like, ugh, threaten human resources and armed doing.
yeah.
Um, so it's like that's the environment I'm in also. It's like, you want to do what? And I'm like, these people are like writing in a notebook, which I love. I love writing in a notebook, but it's so backwards. And I feel like they're not the only one. Like there's so much to catch up on or to adopt still. Like we're still like almost in cave times, really.
Yeah. Yeah, schools, like any educational institution, is like a big mammoth that is moving super, super slow. So
Yeah.
this is going to happen until they all start getting replaced. But yeah, Karen said human rights and employment standard violations. I don't know what that is.
Mm.
She's in HR in Canada. Um, yeah, well, absolutely. If you sit like a little mouse and just take their bullshit, they'll walk all over you. As soon as you're getting a bit bold and say a few keywords like, lawyer, human rights, violations, they start going, oh, I think she knows what she's talking about. We don't want that. We don't want the press, at our doorstep because
Well, the
especially if
thing,
it's a college and it gets bad rap.
yeah, yeah. And the stupid thing is, it's a social media post. Even if it's LinkedIn, my title changed and LinkedIn posted that I started a new job. Like it's a social media. It's not like I went and told my boss, look, I'm doing this thing, or like I went and told HR. Like why do they believe something on social media and make it like blow it up out of I don't know. It was
Yeah.
so it was stupid. The whole thing was stupid. Anyway,
Yep. The sooner you're out of there, the better. But yeah.
I need to get out of there and stand on my own 2 feet. And when I'm ready, they're getting the goodbye note.
Yeah. I haven't had a proper job since 2009, and it's like you wake up in the morning and there's nothing in your email box, there's no messages, don't have to rush through peak hour traffic, nobody tells you what to do, and yeah, it's like a whole new way of living.
That
Yeah.
sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah. So your next job is to get one more client and then one more client.
Yes.
Do not be afraid to ask your current client to refer you if they know someone.
Mm.
So you do not be afraid. The worst they can say is no.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I have a potential client number 2, so stay tuned.
Excellent. Yeah, this is really good. It always starts with that one client and then you just go another one and another one. It's not this thing that you see on YouTube where it's like, we started our business yesterday and today we have 20 clients and they all pay us $5,000 a month, which is bullshit. Everybody started with one. They just make themselves look much bigger. Yeah, Karen says she's been her own boss since 2010. And yes, ups and downs, but there's nobody who doesn't understand you when you're your own boss. So yeah, Jen, good on you. Like kudos, because you're one of those people that can see the opportunity and just goes with it and learns and implements. Like I'm super, super proud. Like, yeah. It's Karen with
Thank you,
okay.
Karen.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? We are almost out of time, but if you guys have any more questions or anything, we can stay for a little longer. If not, I'll see you next week. Okay. All right. Karen, don't forget to do the workflows. Joe, make sure you book.
Yes, it's on a Post-it note right in front of my face. Right there. And book, yeah, I'll book I have to write that down too, book a 1 hour,
Yeah.
a one-on-one. Okay, as soon as I've done that. Mhm.
All righty.
Thank you, my dear. Thanks, everybody. You
Okay,
go
guys.
get them, Jen. You're all good.
Yeah, go get them.